Good evening and welcome to Project Talk, the live stream that talks about projects and dives deep into your issues.
Emotional and physical.
I don't know. I just made that up. Welcome everybody to Project Talk, your favorite live stream on YouTube. Regardless of when we do it, it's your favorite. I know it is because you keep showing up.
All 8 of you.
So we keep showing up.
That's right.
That's it. That's all the energy I have for the whole night. Let me run down the chat real quick. Builder's Mark gets bragging rights tonight because that is the first thing I see in the chat is Mark saying "Let's go" or "Let's go." I don't really know. When you put more than one O on go, it really becomes goo, doesn't it? Matt Mike is here. Felipe is here. Hello, Felipe. It's been a while since you've caught a stream. Felipe and I might be working on a little something for the garage channel.
Not the only fans
Tony
channel.
Ryan is here. I don't want to repeat anybody because nobody gets double.
Did you get Mitch?
Gene Gamble is here. Oh, I haven't gotten down to Mitch yet.
Oh, sorry. I thought he had messaged multiple times.
No, I don't see him up above. I only see him down below. Again,
well,
Gene Gamble is here. Welcome, Gene. Mitch is here. Tony Ryan is here. I don't know. Maybe I already said Tony Ryan. I guess Tony gets more than one call out.
Itching for a Mitchin.
Itching for a Mitchin.
Mitch and I may have something in the works together. He and I.
Mitch said, "Get down to my level." Oh, so I want to tell a story real quick about Mitch because some people might not have heard this, but the first time that I ever met Mitch was at Murph in 17, and or no, it was 18, and he had the backpack printer on, which I absolutely love. Every time that I find that backpack printer somewhere, like it'll come across my reels on Instagram or whatever, it just warms my heart because I'm like, hey, I know that guy. But Mitch had a Raspberry Pi cam on there, and he was like, you know, bend down and I'll get a selfie of you. And then he couldn't get it to work, and I'm like, Mitch, can you hurry up? My face is like in your butt. That was the first time that I ever met Mitch. So, oh, what a good.
And he farted on you, right?
I hope not. Oh. Anyway,
did you leave the weekend with pink eye?
Oh, you leave those conventions with all kinds of stuff.
The con creds.
I will apologize for being late. James and I it's me. That we had to discuss tonight that couldn't be live, and neither one of us can stay after the stream, so we just kind of had to hash a few things out.
Legitimately 100% on me. I needed to rant about something, and I needed to get his opinion on it, and it's not something I could say during a stream. Maybe
eventually, because that'll make for a really good story when it's all done and over with.
Yep. Assuming we're still streaming by then, I mean, YouTube might go to business before.
Yeah, that's true. The world may implode by the time that all gets done. So, Glenn Hogue sneaking in there. Mitch said rant is about me, I'm sure. Yeah, he was complaining about you, Mitch. He was like, God, that Mitch guy just...
He won't come and visit me, and I miss him so much.
What's that?
I said, he won't come visit me, and I miss him so much.
I have huge news, and I'm going to tell it now. There's 8 people watching. I'm going to tell
You're pregnant.
I'm going to tell it right now so that people who show up late don't get to hear the huge news. The huge news is all Christmas lights have been taken down.
So not so much a huge news as a huge snooze.
On March 2nd.
Hey, you know what? Our Christmas lights are still up. They're off though.
Well, mine have been off since New Year's Day. But
do you know what's funny? Sorry, I'll let you. So as most people here know, we've been having bathroom renovations done, and we leave our Christmas lights up until Serbian Serbian Christmas because of like family, like ancestor stuff, basically. Is it Serbian? It's on K side, so I might be. Anyways, so the guy was here doing the tile work, and he was mixing the grout, mixing the mortar or whatever for the flooring and stuff like that. He unplugged our Christmas lights. Like there's an extension cord that runs out from the plug on the side of the house, and then the lights plug into it. He unplugged our lights. The kid goes, "Why are the lights off?" I'm like, I don't know. I look over. I'm like, oh, because he unplugged our lights so he could plug his extension cord into our extension cord. She's like, I want my lights back on. He's like, oh, uh,
Uh, I just tweeted you an image, but only just so that I could pull it up and share it.
better not be your butthole again.
It's no, I only send those on special occasions.
Only flans. Mitch says so. Now you start. Now you start now putting them back up.
So no, I have 8 months before I have to start putting them up. They have to start going up in October, but I only have what 4 months before I start working on stuff to get it ready for the season. It's a year round the clock yearly thing.
Oh, sad news from the world of Star Trek today. One of the literally 5 Star Trek TV series was canceled today. But it's a weird cancel. Well, it's not weird because I understand the reasoning behind it, but they've already filmed the 5th season and it doesn't premiere until 2024, but they have canceled it. I'm like, you think usually they'd wait for the ratings to come back and be like, hey, but
there's so many things that can affect that. If you have a group of stars that are demanding more money, or
well, this is a Paramount Plus show, and I think Paramount Plus has basically said we need to lean up because we're not making money on our streaming services. So they are literally like this is their plan. They are raising money for the streaming costs, and they're canceling programs that they don't believe are continuing to bring in new subscribers.
Yeah.
That is part of the reason why streaming stuff doesn't last as long, because it's not enough that people watch it. They also need to know that new subscribers are being brought in by it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm getting ready to cancel all of my stuff. Disney Plus, Netflix, and Peacock are all. Peacock has been free up until this point because I have Comcast cable, but now they're going to start charging for it if they haven't already. So
and you're like, nope.
I don't watch
fun.
it. I don't watch it. It's done. Disney, I'm fed up with Disney. Disney can go fly a kite for all I care.
Geez, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, well, I mean, I live in that crap hole. Like it influences everything in Florida, so it's just a mess. And then Netflix with this whole password sharing thing. The only reason I still have Netflix is because my mom watches it, so it's kind of my way of helping her out. And if it's not going to, if they're not going to let me share passwords, then poof, it's gone. I don't need it.
We are canceling ours. We will probably like resubscribe for a month when like the final season of Stranger Things comes out, and we're just gonna go like that accordingly. I was paying for the ultra high end package because I was sharing it with my parents, so I was paying for 4 TVs.
Yeah.
I was paying for 4 T, and everybody's like, "Well, you get 4K." I didn't have a 4K TV until 6 months ago, so it was never. I was literally paying extra so my parents could use it.
Yeah, well, we would do that too. We would run into a situation where, like, I would be into some series and Grisilla would be into some series, and then my mom would go to pull it up and it would say, like, oh, you don't have enough slots. And she would hit the upgrade, and it would just automatically roll. And all of a sudden, I'm paying more.
Like, so
stop doing that.
So my TV has this thing where it's like, oh, it'll advertise shows that you don't have, and you go to watch them, and it's like, oh, this is available on Stack TV or on HBO Max or whatever.
Okay.
It has happened with both my parents and Kayleen's parents that they are visiting us. They see something advertised that they want to watch, and it pops up with it, and they go, yeah, okay. So then all of a sudden it's like I look and I'm like, oh, we're getting charged for this, and my dad goes, oh yeah, I thought it was a free trial or whatever. I forgot to tell you to cancel.
That's where that Rocket Money app comes into place.
Yep.
Uh, so I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys to see,
Pictures of my butthole.
some projects I like to keep to myself, but others I'm so proud of that like I just absolutely I need to share. So that's how I got my Christmas lights down.
Now, I have to ask you a question. Just one to
Just
start off
one.
with. Just
Other than
one.
that, you only have one question. That's pretty good.
Do you find it inconvenient to have to push around a truck that isn't currently running to be able to do stuff like this?
Yeah, so what I did was I used Uncle Ron's truck to push. I put a tire in between them,
Oh, there
and
you
then
go.
I just pushed that into place.
To
So
quote some Star Wars show, I think that is the way.
so this is not the first time that I've done this. I did not actually create this idea today. This has been something that I've done in years past, but I did something different with it this time that I never have before. So I think Mitch said that's OSHA approved. Florida man lives at Glenn's house.
Florida man is Glenn.
So in years past, I was stronger than I am. I've been on the mend now for a couple of months, and like I've really lost a lot of my strength through all of this being sick and stuff.
Your mojo, as they say.
Yeah, well, and I'm getting older. I'm 50 now. So like I was fine when I was 49, but as soon as I turned 50, whew. But so that span, like to get to the top of there, it's like 35 feet off the ground. And moving that ladder is a chore by yourself.
Yep.
And I almost always work by myself. It just works out that way. One, nobody likes me enough to help, and two, usually nobody else is around. Plus, the conversation's way better when I'm by myself. So
you're just up there going bow wow, bow wow, dun 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 dun.
So if you look up at the top of the ladder, I don't know. Again, does my mouse show on this? Yeah. Except for now, I don't know where it went. Is my mouse showing? No. Okay,
no,
so
I don't believe it is.
up at the top of the ladder, you see the like the black thing sticking out. That's one of those stabilizer, a ladder stabilizer, and I have socks over it just so that it doesn't mar up the house. And then the ladder. So what I did was I laid the ladder in the back of the truck and I huffed it up into the air, and well, in fact, I had the truck at the house the first time that I put it up. So I huffed the ladder up onto the roof, and slid it out where I needed it to be. So, but the problem is when you put a ladder up, like this, it's great. That's what it's made for. When you put a ladder up like this, it gets real springy. It's not made for that. And
it's a bit of a flex seal, as they say.
Yeah, well, and I'm still pushing 200 pounds, and that's an aluminum ladder. So
Crimea River.
So I have like a heavy duty fiberglass one too, but heavy duty also comes with heavy. It's a lot heavier of a ladder. Why is there no video of this setup in use?
Well, that's for that's going to be premium.
I totally should have. I should have strapped the GoPro to my chest.
That way, if you fell, I mean, you wouldn't be able to benefit from it, but the kids could probably post it online and make a little schmeckles off of it.
But once I got everything into position, I measured and I cut that 2x4 to wedge in. There's a spot on my tailgate that works out perfectly for it. It's just an indentation where one of the bolts are, and it's up against the steel handle to get up onto the tailgate. You can see the tailgate has a step. It's got that pull-out step that Fords have. So I went and cut that 2x4. I drilled I took a hole saw and I punched a hole through the 2x4, and then I cut it off through the middle of that hole. So
you didn't use a half saw, you used a whole saw?
I used the whole saw, and then I cut it in half afterwards. But that holds the rung of the ladder, wedged to that point in the tailgate, and then you can see, maybe you can see, there's two ratchet straps holding that thing to the tie down.
Oh, I see lots about this that is ratchet.
Mark said, just shaking my head. Okay, so that's not even, it's not even the glorious part, because like I said, I've done this before. And now you might be asking yourself, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just put the ladder on the ground and climb up the ladder? But the problem is when you put the ladder at the house, which I have to have the stabilizer on there to clear the gutters, when I climb up, I'm still like 6 feet away from the dormers, and I can't walk on the roof. It's an 812 pitch metal roof, and as soon as the shoe sets on the roof, whoop, your foot will kick out from underneath you, and I will get a ladder in the hiney as I'm pole vaulting to the ground. So that's why I don't just climb up the ladder. So I have to have the ladder like that so I can clear the gutters. It has to be up in the back of the truck, otherwise it would have to be 60 feet long. And then by having it like that, I can put it up to the dormer, and I can actually lock a foot on the end of the ladder when I stand up, and I can reach the whole face of the dormer to get. Now, this isn't the eaves. This is just the face of the dormer. The eaves, I use the ladder regular, and I just hook it to the top of the eave. That part's fine, or the top of the roof. It's fine. So, but where the difference came in this year was once I got that ladder up on the first window and got the first face down, I didn't want to do it 2 more times. I was tired. So I had the wife come out, and I said, listen, I'm going to drive away. I'm going to drive away from the house very slowly. I just want you to watch and make sure it doesn't rip the gutter off the front of the house. And she said, it's going to hit the gutter. And I'm like, no, it's going to clear. I just want you to double check it. And she's like, but it's going to slide down and hit the gutter. And I'm like, wait, no. Physics say when I drive away, it's going to drive away like this, not like this. So it'll be, and it did. It cleared the gutter. I mean, not by much, but it cleared the gutter. And I said to her, I said, now I'm going to back up to the next window, and I need you to watch again. And the reason that you have to is because now the ground is varying in height. And I don't mean drive, I mean push and pull it with Uncle Ron's truck. So then I went to get to the middle window because there's 3 dormers, and it cleared fine. And like I could kind of see it in the mirror. And as soon as the feet made contact, I backed up just a little further. So it put just a little more pressure on there. No problem. Up, take it down. The only problem that I really had, let me get rid of the sharing. The only real problem that I had was the way that the faces are held on. We have hurricane anchors around our windows so that when the hurricanes are coming, we can put boards on the house. And that's what I actually use to hold the faces on. But this shoulder is so screwed up right now that I can't, like, that's as far out as I can extend this arm. Like, this one I can. So then trying to get the screwdriver and undo the screw to undo the clips and not fall off the roof. That was fun. That was fun. And then when I went to take the ladder down, I did it like this because I'm pointing at it. You guys can't see it any longer, but the reason I pulled away from the house is because I could collapse the ladder. And then I just lifted it up and took the 2x4 out, laid it down, and then I drove it around to my shed. So it was glorious. It was, Mark said metal roof instant slide, mainly on an 812. I have a 212 pitch on my porch in the back, and I can actually access that out the windows in my office area. No problem. But as soon as you try to walk up that 812, nope. In fact, I've slid off of that and almost fell to the ground. Like I slid off the 812 and kind of went tumbling down the 212. But Tony said maybe the neighbors have video. So what's really funny, though, is when I backed up for the second window, which is the middle dormer, like just as I'm touching the ladder to the roof and hopping out of the truck, my neighbor, who is a professional roofer, stops out on the road, and he's kind of sitting there for a minute, And I said to Grisilla, I said, well, he's either waiting to see if I fall and die, or he's going to come and offer his help. But really, he just gave me his business card and said if I needed a new roof. I'm like, no, I'm taking down Christmas lights. Mm. I'm always
I
afraid that the fire department, because we have a fire station just down the road, and the main road is one way in and one way out. And I'm always afraid that the fire department's going to drive by while I'm doing stupid crap like this. Oh, Mark posted a link. Hang on, I gotta.
You know what I hate? Support material,
Oh yeah,
especially with
some of Danner's
PETG.
favorite things too.
I'm cleaning support material out of PETG prints, and yeah, I printed this piece balance on this. Let's see if I can get on this edge. So it's printed at an angle like this because I wanted to get as much detail as possible, and the best way to do that was to get it vertically. But as a result, there is as much support material as there was print.
Sergio said the city building inspector will be visiting you soon. I wasn't building anything though, so.
You're out of your jurisdiction.
And I don't live in the city anyway. Tom Elrod has joined us. Hello, Tom. So Mark sent me this link, and I'm gonna share this because this could be absolutely glorious. There's only one major catch to it. So so Mark sent this. That is a screaming deal. And what's even better is there's a coupon to get $3 off.
A little insult to injury.
But that really is a screaming deal. The problem is if you look there, it says free shipping, and then it says from China to United States, via seller's shipping method. That's got to be a scam, though, right? Like that thing's it's tiny. It's an RC car size or something. There's no way that can be $1,200.
Scroll down for dimensions and stuff, and let's see.
I mean, these things are like,
oh, there you go.
16,000 price, not full amount. Price on product page didn't display full amount. Why? Because.
Because all delivery service providers Express don't deliver heavy machinery. Heavy machinery is delivered by sea. There is no definite logistics plan. So you have to contact them to find out how much it actually is.
Yeah, I knew there was no possible way because I've been looking at one of these used and it was like 16 grand. This is actually what I rent to put them up. This year I got kind of burned. The company that I had been renting from, it was if you picked it up on Saturday morning, they were only open till noon on Saturday. So you pick it up Saturday morning, you got to keep it all the way until Monday. And it was like $350 for the 2 days. Well, now they stick you with a day and a half rental, and they make you take their insurance.
Oh, I see.
So it was almost $900 to rent it this year. And so at $900, like I almost didn't do it, but we were already down to a deadline, and I couldn't get one somewhere else. So at $900, I bit the bullet and put it on the old credit card. But I couldn't afford to rent it to take them down. So, but going forward, we've got a couple of options. I found a rental company in a nearby town that will let me pick it up on Friday and return it on Monday morning. David Randolph throwing down 20 US dollarinos. Here's your down payment. That would be a down payment on about $1,200 worth. Thank you, David. It is much appreciated. But yeah, if I pick it up on Friday and return it Monday at 8 a.m., it's $350. I just have to drive like 50 minutes to go get it and back, but that's a heck of a savings. So I was renting the one from the Homes Depot, which was fine. I liked it because it was electric, but the last 2 times that I went to get one, they didn't have any, even though there was like 8 of them out on the lot because those were all broken. So, God, that's too bad. I was getting excited. $1,200. I would have bought 2 of them just to have a spare. But I knew better than that. So there is but Mark said, "You're welcome." Oh yeah, no, that was Gloria. That was a great laugh. I love that. There is it's a website. He does a news feed, and I'm blanking on the name. It's like a weird spelling of electric, but he does an occasional article about these weird electric vehicles that he finds on Alibaba, and
where it's basically just like a golf cart that they've tailored just enough to allow it to be like licensable on the road.
well, not even light. They're not like necessarily road legal anything. Like one time he did a boat, a little electric boat. One time, like most recent one I seen was like a wheel loader, a front end loader, but smaller, like not tiny. It was like the size of a bobcat, a skid steer. And they're not expensive. And I say not expensive. They're like, $6,000.
By comparison is what you're saying.
But the problem is a lot of times you have to buy 10 of them. They won't sell you just one. You have to buy a container load or whatever. So, and then he actually wrote an article. He bought, I want to say it was an electric Jeep. It was really neat. It was a really neat looking Jeep. It's smaller, about the size of a golf cart. And he recorded the whole process that it took, from ordering it to picking it up at the shipyard in California, like the whole thing. I guess he's based out of like Nevada or something, but it's just a lot of hassle to get it.
A lot of Hasselhoff.
A lot of Hasselhoff.
Gotta watch that bay.
But yeah, so I also right now have sitting in my saved on Marketplace, good old Marketplace, 3 different bucket trucks that I'm considering. Now, one of them, the most expensive one, which is 15 grand, it's an international, so it's huge. It's got like a 40-foot boom, and so I've done the math, but let's do it again. So let's say $15,000, okay? $15,000, and we're going to divide that by, let's even say $400 to rent the boom, the bucket from Home Depot or wherever. That's 37 and a half rentals, okay? But I'm going to rent it twice a year, once to put it up and once to take it down.
Yep.
That's 18.75 years of putting up Christmas lights. I'm 50. I will not be putting up Christmas lights in 18 years.
Okay, but then you got to keep in mind like how the one you were already renting went up. So there's going to be some sort of inflation associated with that.
Yeah, but even if I get 10 years, am I going to be doing this in 10 years?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. It depends on if my kids get off their humps.
They're lovely manly humps.
Oh, I got to put David's banner up. He caught me in the middle of a fun little rant.
Fun rant 3D.
I got to take some of these out of here. Too many people have given us money. And when I say us, I really just mean me, because I don't give any of it to James.
He just gives me the warm and fuzzy feelings. That's all. I do want to show one of my favorite parts of this build that I'm working on. I'm gonna worry less about being secretive because the person that I'm building it for already knows it's coming. So let's go ahead and swap this around. Come on. So see the little floppy drive?
Yeah.
It's actually the SD card reader for the. Yeah. So yeah, you can see the detail in the curves and stuff actually turns out pretty decent. I'm still standing and painting this, so it's not perfect, but it's a far cry better than it would have been if I just printed it like flat or whatever.
Right.
Flat Earth or whatever.
Flat Earth, yeah. Duff is here. Okay, so Mike brings up a good point and says subtract the amount you'll sell it for when you stop putting them up. But there's one catch to that. What is that word? Is it pronounced caveat?
Caveat.
Is it caveat? Okay.
Yeah.
There's one caveat to that. I don't sell cars.
Okay, so but here's the other thing: you could probably make extra money off of it by renting it to people.
Well, I did consider that, but I would have to like dig in and see what the insurance would look like for that. I mean, I know like you see on Marketplace all the time, people will be like, rent my jet skis for $150 an hour or whatever. And I'm really curious, like, what does the insurance look like for that? Or do they just not tell the insurance company and then
I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. I'm not saying every time.
But I mean, like, okay, so you rent out a bucket truck to somebody that goes 40 feet up and they fall out of it and then get hurt. Then they sue you because it's your bucket truck.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we live in a world of litigation. Duff asks, will this thing need yearly inspections and certification in your region? It would not, because it would be privately owned. And
I guess
in Florida, we don't have inspections on anything. Thank God. Because if you want to put a Cummins into a Ford, more specifically, if you want to put a 2006 Cummins in a 2008 Ford, that would be all kinds of trouble.
That's an inspecting. Oh, do you like my new lamps?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I bought them for like mood lighting for when I'm doing filming. It's got
lighting.
It's got Edison bulbs in it.
Neat.
Or they have Edison bulbs. I'm sorry. There's 2 lamps.
Yeah.
I show it to Kay, and Kay's like, "Oh, I really like that design," and it's got 2 USB ports and stuff built into the bottom. She goes, "Yeah, I really like the way that looks. I'd like one to put in the new bathroom." And I said, "Okay, well, I don't need both of them." She goes, "The only thing is, like, I want it over by the tub. There's no outlet over there." I'm like,
well, not only that, but
yeah, no, we're getting there. Because she's not dumb. She's already thought of this. She goes, "So what I'd like to do is they sell LED Wi-Fi bulbs that have built-in batteries, so they'll charge, and you can run them for like 24 hours off of a full charge or whatever." So she's like, "I want to take one of the lamps that I just bought that are brand new, cut the cord off of it, and then just have a rechargeable bulb that we screw into it so I can have my mood lighting over by the tub." And I went, "No." You want to do that? We'll go to Value Village, which is like Salvation Army. We will find an old lamp that you like the look of, and I will gladly cut the cord off of that and let you do exactly how you want to do it.
Mike said, tie a bunch of lights in a circle and raise the boom for instant Christmas tree. Well, we did actually use the boom to put up the big Christmas tree this year. Like normally we do it off of ladders. For those of you who don't know, the big tree, which is about 27 foot tall, the pole starts about 11 feet tall, and all the lights are mounted on aircraft cable, like 16th inch aircraft cable, and they hook to a big hoop that's made out of metal conduit, EMT, and then
emergency medical technicians,
right? And then there's a bunch of hooks around the top, and the cable's hooked to that, and then I have a crank system, and you crank the pole up. So like I don't actually
and then you dance on it.
And yes, I don't actually like hang the lights 27 feet up, but what I did this year was I parked the boom as far out as I could and put the bucket over to the pole. And then we have these sticks that have a nail sticking on the top. There's Paul Cumber. Hello, Paul. Long time no see. But then you just hook the aircraft cable, the loop on the end of the aircraft cable onto the nail, and then they can hand them up to me in the bucket, or on the top of the ladder, which is how we usually do it. So, but being I paid so much for that lift, I wanted every minute of use that I could get out of it. So I used it for putting the tree up, and then used it to wash part of the garage this year too. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could technically then, just boom up and make it the Christmas tree. But
Boom goes the dynamite.
And Duff said anything 1 ton or over needs yearly safety here, then certification for the lift hardware. And Duff, if you don't mind, where are you that they require that?
The call's coming from the house, from inside your house.
Mike said, I don't want to watch Glenn pole dance or just dance in general. You're right. You don't want to see either one of those two things. Yeah, Paul, it's been a long time. I hope you're doing all right.
Hey, Paul. Oh, yes. That would explain why Duff knew all the Canadian stuff last week. He was talking about, I don't remember what he was talking about. Some part of Canadian
law
enforcement. Wasn't RCMP.
Mitch said it's Florida. They don't have safety gear, nor safety in general. That's not true. Like, commercial stuff is different. I mean, we have OSHA here. I mean, there are rules commercial-wise, mainly in construction, but pretty much residential. Nah.
Hey, Paul. I already said hi to Paul, but he said hi to me, so I'm saying hi again.
You just pretty much do whatever you want in Florida. That's why there's so many Florida man stories. Paul said for you to stop sending him your snow.
Nope. You know what? We've gotten so much snow, it's ridiculous. And we have another almost foot coming tonight. And
wow.
So here's the thing. I am on a medication
that causes... I mean, I guess it is, just out of February, but...
We already have snowbanks that are between 8 and 10 feet tall. Wow. And they've done snowbank removal. I cannot see coming out of my driveway, so I have to edge forward and just listen in case somebody honks because they're happen to be coming down the road at the same time.
Yeah.
I am on a medication that causes tendinitis and can cause spontaneous tendon rupture. And I started doing snow lifting shoveling. Sorry. I started lifting snow the other day because we got blasted. And I can usually clear our driveway by hand, no problem. I got into the third half shovel of snow and I couldn't lift my arms above my head anymore. And my shoulders were on fire and I could feel the burning and stuff all the way down. And I looked it up. It's like, oh yeah, that's the beginning. So you should back off because you can basically just blow a tendon. And it lasts for up to 3 weeks after you're finished the medication that you're in danger of just spontaneous tendon rupture. The doctors explained it to me. He's like, I don't think it's going to happen to you. It very rarely happens. It's one of those, we have to mention it because it does happen from time to time thing. He's like, but you could be walking and rupture your Achilles tendon and your foot will basically just lose its anchor point and you'll fall. I'm like, fantastic.
Yeah, that's the side effect I would get. I always get the side effects that are if it's 1 in a million, that's the one I get.
This one may turn your anus purple. Well, can't wait to see what my anus looks like purple.
Mike said, when people ask why I don't decorate my house, I'm just going to tell them I decorate my Florida home and show them a picture of Glenn's house. Yeah, so there will be a video of it, I promise.
Lies. Lies.
The whole thing is filmed. I could never get through the editing, then I got sick. But speaking of editing, I shot that channel update. I shot the sheriff.
And then he took away my monetization.
No, you have to sing well for you to lose monetization. No, I shot that channel update for the Garage channel.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
commented on it.
What's that?
I commented on it.
I know you did. I replied to your comment. I reply to all comments, even if I don't like them. I did that whole thing in one take. No, that's not true. I did it complete on the 5th take, but regardless. So editing that was super easy. I just had to cut out the part where I'm turning on the camera and where I...
And then turning it towards yourself and going, hey guys.
Right. Hey, Redstone here.
I feel bad. We should stop making fun. He released a video a week or two ago. I haven't watched it.
I will never stop making fun of him. I'm sorry. But anyway, no, I just cut out the very beginning where I turned on the camera and I walked back and fixed my hair and stuff. And
which hair did you have to fix? The first one or the second one?
Well, it's usually this one up here, and then I want to make sure that one's not growing out of my earlobe.
you post stuff and I keep wanting to make like little bald jokes and stuff like that because I know you don't care and like you can also rib me on weight and stuff like that. Doesn't bother me, but I'm always like, he'll laugh at it, but there's gonna be people that take it seriously and think I'm an asshole. I mean,
But
sorry,
well,
I
yeah, with your
sorry, I apologize. I just swore on the channel.
with
I a donkey hole.
but like yeah, with your channel name, you definitely don't want to do that. But like if you're using your own personal account, then who cares?
I think I might just create a channel called like a personal account called I am an a-hole, and I'll just say all the a-hole things that I
Yeah,
want to say
because
all
I
the
mean,
time.
Sandra always has some snide comment to make too. But
Did you like my poem today?
oh, that was pretty funny. Yeah,
Should I read that for those that didn't see it?
yeah. For those who don't follow on the Twitters,
Yeah. So let me see here. Here it is. So Xander had posted, "Where's the poem? I want to make fun of it," because
right?
as you guys probably know, every week Glenn posts like a clip for like some musical lyrics or a poem or something like that. Usually something that rhymes to get people in here.
Which
And
it doesn't work, but I
yeah,
just keep doing
but you
it
try.
anyway.
Yeah, it's your shtick. Um, So I responded with, "Peg Leg Paul, he came to play, but the strength of his game is way off today. He tried really hard to conjure a joke, but the whole world was watching when Peg Leg Paul choked." And he responded with, "I'm trying my best, man."
Yeah, I had posted roses are red, violets are blue. Nobody's.
Was it roses are red, violets are blue? Oh, you hadn't posted a poem, and then he asked you to. Second, where is it here? He said, "Where's the poem? I want to make fun of it." Oh,
Right,
here. Roses are red, violets are blue. No one out there is a bigger pain than you.
right.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so going back to the story. So once now that James is done picking on me, once like that video was super easy. I just have to clip out the beginning, clip out the end of me turning off the camera and swearing. Because I always go like if it's good, I'm always like F yeah or whatever. But give myself a pat on no, I have to do it this way because that shoulder doesn't work. But I did start editing this week for the next video that's coming out. And this is the first editing that I've done since the machine got upgraded and that the RAM got upgraded. Oh, and that I have 27-inch monitors now. So the monitors now allow me to actually see the name of the file that I'm editing, which is brilliant because I couldn't see it before on my 24-inch monitors. So
Yep.
that was a huge deal. The Adobe, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and it opens in fact, it opens so fast it feels weird. Because before it would take like about 2.5 minutes to load.
Yep.
You'd have to look at the splash screen in the beginning for like 2.5 minutes, and now it's like 20 seconds and it's up. Like it's so quick. It's almost unsettling. But what I find really funny is I went from 32 to 64 gigs of RAM,
Yep.
and now it seems like it does everything slower.
Maybe it's because you were expecting too much from it.
It was just a dig on that guy on Reddit.
Oh, I forgot about that. I had pushed him out of my mind.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
I just periodically open up his profile, downvote whatever the latest comment that he's made of, and then go along my merry way.
Yeah, as long as you pushed him out of your mind, that's good.
He's just sitting there going, "Why are people downvoting me?" And it's like, it's just me. I have a vendetta.
But no, like I don't have to reboot now before I open Premiere.
Reboot.
Well, I always had to reboot beforehand. I don't have to reboot now. I can have more than one thing open at a time. That looks really good.
Looks the part, and look, the screen actually like fits so well into it that it's like even without it being mounted, it's it just falls and shatters. And I'm like, well, see you later, hopes and dreams.
And that's the only one of those screens I could ever get.
Yep.
But no, so editing is going well. I mean, obviously, I won't have the video out tomorrow
or
I
ever.
just started editing it. I'm moving my releases to Sunday because TubeBuddy said so. If you're a YouTuber and you don't use TubeBuddy, you are missing out. And if you want to use TubeBuddy, hit me up. I'll give you my affiliate link. That's not why I say that though. But like TubeBuddy, like you get regular YouTube analytics, which are kind of like crapping in a bucket and then hoping that you're going to find something in there. But with TubeBuddy, it makes it a little bit more. Are we talking about DPT? No, we're talking about a kid who used to be. What was his? I'm drawing a blank.
Technology Nerd 18.
Technology Nerd 18. Yeah, I don't
then
know
it
what
became
he is
Adaptive
now,
Tech.
Adaptive Tech, yeah.
That's the last one I remember. He might have changed it again.
Yeah. But
he posted a video a couple weeks ago and it said, "I'm back, well, sort of, LOL," was the name of the, if memory serves.
But you didn't watch it?
No.
I'll have to fire up an incognito window and go watch it.
Legitimately not until him, but I think almost half of the videos his released in the past 3 years have been, "I'm back," and then, "Where have I been?" Like, yeah, 3 months later.
Ask me anything and nobody shows up. But
hey, I didn't ask me anything once and nobody showed up.
Did you really?
I mean, as far as you know.
I don't remember you doing that. I must not have been there.
Story checks out. Oh my god.
But no, I'm hoping to have the video out next week. Sundays at 5 p.m. will be my new launch time because TubeBuddy said that's when the majority of my subscribers are online on YouTube. So,
now, keep in mind, because I don't know if TubeBuddy suggests this. I think I might be using, I don't remember if I'm using TubeBuddy or one of its competitors, but they're saying if most of your people are online at like noon, you should release at 9 o'clock in the morning so that the video is loaded in their feed by the time they go live, they start watching.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, like it literally says like the best time to release the video is 5.
Oh, so they may already be calculating that in.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what all of the metrics behind that are, but I think it's just kind of cool that they do that. I was releasing mine on Fridays because it gave people the weekend to watch it, and then I realized I don't watch any YouTube on the weekends.
I don't watch any Glenn YouTube on the weekend, that's for sure. I'm just kidding. I watch every video you put out. I think I might actually be the better friend.
You might be. You might be.
You watched the Shuttle PC video, right?
Absolutely, twice.
All that matters to me is that you watch the ones that count.
In fact, I watched it twice and let it just run in here that night. So you got 3 views off of me.
You're a gentleman.
I do have more than one YouTube account. So,
do you remember me talking about last week how I was like 3 o'clock in the morning? I ordered a tablet computer and I woke up the next morning and I had ordered 2 of them and I don't even remember what I wanted to do with them.
Right.
There.
But you still don't know what you wanted to do with them.
Well, I have another idea now and I pitched it to somebody else and they're like, that's phenomenal. That's a great idea. So first of all, I have to see if it actually powers on. Because, you know.
Mitch said, let's get your video above 1,000.
Which video?
Like 100,000. Like, come on. So I had shared it with James today. I had this like weird growth spurt between noon yesterday and 8 a.m. What did I tell you? 7?
Yes.
There
was time stamping in the screenshot you sent me, so I don't remember specifically off the top of my head because I was like, well, what's weird about that? And then you're like, it's weird that people like my stuff, I guess.
Yeah, the timestamps are there. They're just tiny.
They're timestamps.
Right. They're tiny timestamps. But yeah, so it was 6 subs between noon yesterday and 8 a.m. this morning, which, you know, for some people, who cares? They get 8 subs in a minute. But I have been averaging 1 a day. And then all of a sudden just got this spike of 6, which feels weird. And I guess the reason that it's weird is I don't remember doing anything that would do that other than I commented on a YouTuber's videos that I watched because he had apologized at the end of the video and said, you know, like he was upgrading his shop and he had built this this custom metal door to cover his electrical panels, and he's like, sorry I made you guys sit through a whole video of me making a door, and like I thought, that's cool, and so I had commented, listen, whether you're working on cars or upgrading the shop or whatever, who cares? You're fun to watch, you're entertaining. And I said, as a YouTuber, I appreciate all that you go through to produce the content that you do. And I don't know if then people clicked the cheeseburger and went to my channel, because obviously I post everything as Fun King Garage. I'm all about the branding, and if that's what but for it to all happen in one day feels weird. So was it adorable? It was actually pretty neat. Like, I mean, not necessarily. Yeah, like when I watch other people fabricate stuff, sometimes I cringe because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist on stuff, and like people will build stuff without a tape measure, and I can't fathom that. They'll just be like, well, that looks close enough. It works. And I'm like, what? But no, it was really cool. As a YouTuber, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you say to somebody, I appreciate what you go through, they're like, yeah, you don't even know what I go through. But if you say, like, I do the same thing you do, I appreciate what you go through, they're like, well, that guy gets it. Yeah. So, because if you're not a YouTuber, you don't understand how much work it goes in. And these people that produce more than one video in a week, holy crap, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. So I am working to get to where I'm producing one a week, but with a full-time job that is now actually more than full-time, it's that's going to be a tough row to hoe.
Don't that's trust H-O-E. The road.
H-O-E, hoe.
Do you know what sucks about this thing? It you have to use the touch screen. It has a touch screen. You have to use the pen to use it.
You have to use a stylus?
Yep. That's
don't let Joel see that. It's 2023, dang it.
I can't help but say that I am disappointed in this, because the one project that I've got planned for it, this is going to be a bit of a...
Yeah, it needed to be touch. So you have to design a finger cot that has the...
I will not.
Oh.
I will not.
Mitch said, I appreciate watching someone build stuff with a hacksaw on a file because I know the struggle.
I think Tony Ryan asked what I used to do for surface mount component soldering. I have not done any surface mount stuff at this point.
I want to talk about surface mount stuff. I was going to wait until a little bit later, but...
Please don't try to mount my Surface.
No, I have a story that goes with it. I've never really worked with surface mount stuff, but I have a project now that I have to. But Mitch also said hire editor for below minimum wage. I'd love to if I could find one. I would like to find an editor that wants to work for
exposure.
Shout out.
Exposure points.
Exposure. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's got 1.5 gigs of RAM. I mean, that's...
Bob Karn said, you know what sucks? Vacuums.
Oh, you guys. These guys.
Chris Lane said, I have the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus Ultra with a stylus, and I'm just waiting for it to get lost. Well, if it's like my Note, you'll never lose it. Because with the Note, if I have the stylus out and I turn the screen off, the phone gets mad at me. It's like, hey, are you sure you didn't lose your stylus? Like, no, it's right here.
Da, 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 da.
Mark said, make sure you have a good magnifying glass light if you do SMD. So, let's roll into that. I guess it's a perfect segue. Because with every project that I have comes a story. Because I'm a story guy. So Monday. All right. Preface. I work 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay. If my phone rings at 2:59 and 59 seconds and it's work calling, I typically will not answer it. There is one person in the company that, I mean, other than the owner, but there's one other coworker that, regardless of when she calls, I will absolutely answer the phone. And not just because she's the lady that does the paychecks. Just because that's the relationship I have with her. She does not call me for stupid stuff. When she calls, I need to answer the phone. So Monday at 4:45 in the afternoon, I get a call from the office. It turns out that one of the other employees spilled their coffee into their keyboard,
As one does.
which happens to be a laptop keyboard. So they spilled their coffee into the computer. So I said, what does this person drink in their coffee? Cream and sugar? Oh, great. Sugar is fantastic for computers. I mean, not that liquid isn't, but sugary liquid is just fantastic. Wine is the worst that I've ever come across because the alcohol evaporates off so fast and it leaves just
Sugar
a
behind.
nasty, nasty residue. So the next question I had was, why, if this happened at 8 o'clock this morning, am I just getting a call now? Well, they turned the computer off, and you notice the air quotes. They turned the computer off this morning and they let it dry out all day long, and they had just turned it back on to see if it would work. So, one, not long enough. It's not going to be dried out. Two, they didn't turn it off. It turned itself off right after it happened. It just boom, went off.
Yep.
Bad sign. Bad sign. So I said, well, I should have been notified immediately. You should not have turned it on. I need that laptop. Do not turn it back on. I need it. Oh, they said that it turned on, but the fan was just like super loud. Oh no, like jet taking off loud.
Oh, that's usually good.
So anyway, they had another employee bring the laptop to me. I immediately started tearing into it. It reeked of coffee. Absolutely reeked of coffee. I tore into it. It still had moisture inside of it. You could clearly see the coffee. Thank God it did not get to the battery. Like, it was on the casing of the battery, but the battery was fine, because you don't want moisture in a lithium ion battery, because yeah, it'd be done. But so I spent the evening cleaning it multiple times, which, by the way, mass airflow sensor cleaner from the auto parts store is fantastic for stuff like this because it does not harm the plastic. A lot of those cleaners, when you spray them, it'll start to eat the plastic. Mass airflow sensor cleaner, MAF cleaner, is made to not harm plastic because your mass airflow sensor is a plastic housing. So there's a good tech tip for you.
Sorry, I'll let you finish, and then I have a story that builds off of your story.
Oh yeah, no, this is a good one. So I stripped that whole entire laptop down, 55 screws to get everything taken apart and out, and I just constantly cleaned the board, brush, spray, down through the keyboard, non-removable keyboard. The keyboard is part of the upper casing. Like, the keyboard is in there. There's a metal plate over the top, and then they like melt the plastic mushrooms. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So you can't
The ones
get
that
it
you basically have to shave them off to get them to come off.
right, and there's no replacement keyboard available for it. Like, you can't buy one. So this is a $1,100 laptop, and it's less than a year old. So I spent the whole evening cleaning that and also prepping a standby laptop just in case, so that she wouldn't be without
unable
a computer.
to work.
What's that?
Unable to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Bare minimum, just email, Microsoft Office, internet, that kind of stuff. And then Tuesday morning, I went out and put that thing back together, all except for the bottom cover, and fired it up. And sure enough, the fan, I mean, it fires up. I get into Windows, it runs, but the fan is running full bore.
So
So
the PWM on it must be shot. Like it's just telling it to run full time.
it's I believe it's the thermal circuitry
Oh,
because
it's reporting too hot.
it doesn't know what temperature the CPU is running at. So it's like in a fail safe. So it's just running the fan at like 4,200 RPMs constantly. And I'm terrified to run it because if it doesn't know what the temperature of the CPU is, it could overheat and get thermal runaway.
That's true.
And it's an
Burn itself out.
i7 processor, which we could then lead to fire. So I have a USB microscope, which is it's just a stupid cheapie, but it's absolutely amazing to have
It's
for
like
stuff
50
like this.
bucks or something like that, right?
What's that?
Like one of those $50 ones?
No, like 15.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
was.
USB. It doesn't have the built-in screen. I was thinking the ones with the
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty much a webcam that's just in macro mode, and then it's got lights.
magnification.
What's that?
And it's got magnification attached to it.
Yeah, and then it's just got lights around the lens, and like you can stick it down. Like you can like for scale, because I sent the picture to my boss. I put the point of my ballpoint pen in there, the tip of my ballpoint pen, which is exactly like this one because I'm OCD and all of them have to be the same. But it's not going to focus on that. But you could see the ball, like you could absolutely make out the ball under the microscope. It's amazing. So it's amazingly good for a cheapie. I wish it had some kind of $15 American, right? Yeah, $500 Canadian. Um, but I did find a blown capacitor, but it's surface mount, and it is. And somebody can correct me if I get these initials wrong because I don't remember, and it's the first time I had ever heard it. But like MLCC or MCLL, something like that, capacitor. But there are no markings on it. And some of the research that I did, people say, well, it's based on the size, like how big the actual component is. But I measured it and I compared it to a size chart, and it says it's like an 801, I think is what it came out to be. It's 2 millimeters by like 1.25 millimeters. But I can find multiple capacities for that. 47 microfarad, 100 microfarad. So I don't know multi-layer chip capacitor MLCC. Fantastic. So obviously this one is toast. I don't have another computer that I could unsolder it and test it with my fancy meter that does capacitors. Actually, I don't know. I think that might only tell you if it's good or bad. I don't know if it actually tells you what the rating is. But there is another capacitor that looks just like it right next to it, like within a centimeter away. And I have considered unsoldering that one, seeing what the value is. But I don't know. Can anybody offer any help in determining what that capacitor was?
I can't.
Tony said I also have a USB endoscope for looking inside stuff. I actually have I have a USB one, but I have an endoscope that actually has a screen. I use it for looking down in the cylinders of engines to check for scoring. What did I just used it. Something I was doing the other day, I was trying to get a bolt into a hole or something, and I couldn't see it. Like I couldn't get my fat head wherever it was, so I put the endoscope down there. Like I laid it down there and I held it, and then I went in like an extra set of eyeballs. That was pretty handy. Chris Lane said I can't even spell MLCC.
This thing has a very small hard drive, like a 1.8 inch or a 2 point something inch.
Huh.
Like,
Yeah, I have a Sony camcorder that has a little hard drive like that. Does it just use a flat ribbon cable?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can peel a way to at least get a model number to see if anybody ever made like a conversion thing so that I could put like an SD card into a like. There's SD to IDE adapters, and this is probably IDE like somewhere
Well,
underneath everything.
I bought, because that camera failed on me, I bought an adapter to go from that to SATA, I believe it was. So there is some type of adapters out there, but I don't know if you can adapt it over to SD card. But
The bad part is I'm gonna have to redo all this for the video.
so this meter, this lovely meter that James and I both have one of, I
It's one
just
of
had to
these.
replace the batteries on my other one.
I've got I put rechargeable AA's into it. It constantly says that the batteries are low, but never
Does
goes
this
out.
not come with batteries?
It came with one. I didn't realize that when I got it though,
Oh
because
yeah.
it was so light that I didn't think there was any batteries in it.
Yeah, well, these are they're not out. Well, this one's got a big old dent in it. I wouldn't use this. These aren't alkalines, they're the other ones. What's there's
Lithium
alkaline
ion
batteries.
or
What's that?
lithium?
No. Older,
Oh,
older, cheaper.
um.
Mer- Uh,
Well, there's nickel cadmium.
no, those
You're not
are
talking rechargeable though, right? You're talking about
no, just like regular.
what's the
These are 0% mercury and cadmium. I want to say it's somebody's gonna know. Somebody's gonna call me out before
I
I
think
get there.
Panasonic still makes them like that, and they sell them at the dollar store because they're cheaper to make.
Bob Carnes said carbon zinc, but that's not what I'm thinking of. I want to say it's an A word, and not the one that James said just a few minutes ago. Alkaline? Alkaline.
I thought you said there was an alkaline. Okay.
Alkalines? No, I can't remember.
Let's
It
see
just shows
here.
how great my brain is. Anyway, they're the cheapy batteries that you buy at the dollar store or the flea market. We used to buy like huge boxes of rocket batteries at the flea market to run our controllers for our RC cars because we were going through batteries so fast. Alkaline's the most popular. Okay, so that would be your Duracells and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to find.
This is a 1.8 inch IDE hard drive.
Bob Carnes said the super cheap ones are just called heavy duty, but there's a type on them. I'll find it. It's not lithium. I don't know. It's not really that important. It just bothers me when I can't remember stuff, which happens a lot. You know, I am 50 now. Um, but yeah. So no, the meter ran on those cheapy batteries. Like I've had that thing for over a year now, so it might be the carbon film ones or carbon zinc. I can't remember, but I'm going to have to double glasses here because I need to read this little tiny manual. I want to see capacitance measurement 21. If this meter will tell me what the capacitance is, I will unsolder that other guy next to it and meter it. And then the crappy part is I can order those capacitors from Mouser or DigiKey for like $1, and then $10 in shipping. All right, insert the black lead in the common terminal. That's usually where I leave it. Contact the probe to the measured circuit or capacitance measure. Insert the red into the. No, that's where I usually keep that too. The only other, you got two choices. You put the red one in the everything, or you put the red one in the current. So, yeah, read the measurement result on the screen. So it will tell you the capacitance. So I'm willing to gut that thing. So as of right now, just so that you guys know, and then James can tell his story that builds off my story. I gave the company multiple options on how to go about this. I said, listen, I can try to fix this, but I can't guarantee that if I replace that capacitor that everything's going to be great, because it may have taken out something upstream or downstream. I said, we can replace it with this, we can replace it with this. They've opted to buy another one exactly the same, which is going to make my life super easy, because I'm just going to pull the hard drive, which is a NVMe. I'm going to pull it from the one I have currently and pop it into the new one, and poof, it'll be ready to go. But either way, I said I'm going to attempt to fix this one. Like, if I can fix it, then I get a free laptop. No, if I can fix it, then we have a backup. Should we hire another employee, or have an employee who typically has a desktop and may have to work from home. So what is your story?
So shortly after Kay and I had moved closer to Ottawa to for my work, I was out at a friend's place for the night, just hanging out. And I get a phone call from my wife. And we're talking, and she's kind of we're just shooting the proverbial feces, as they say.
Shooting the poo?
Yeah, and I can tell that she's not happy about something. So I said, "What's going on? You having a rough night?" She was by herself too, and we just moved down here not too long ago. So she goes, I dumped a glass of wine into the laptop. She said, "But don't worry, I turned it off right away, and I'm just gonna wait for you to get home." And I was like, "Did you pull the battery out of it?" And she goes, "No." I said, "Okay." Pull the battery out of it. Start there. And then there's not much else you can do. Turn it, if you can flip it with the screen open and turn it upside down, because she dumped it in through the keyboard. If you can flip it upside down and put it in the sink, as long as not all the weight's on the hinge, just so that stuff isn't pooling, because it was an Acer Travel Mate. It was one of their quote unquote business line machines. And the bottom of it was basically like it's not like the new ones where you have like a section that holds the RAM and like a panel for it. It was just a tray.
Right.
So if you wanted to upgrade the hard drive, yeah. So if you wanted to upgrade the RAM or replace the hard drive, it was just a tray, and it exposed everything in the bottom. And I was like, if it's dumped in there, and she said not too much came out the bottom, it's just sitting in there.
Chris wants to know, is it Merlot or Zinfandel?
It was a Merlot. I'm kidding. I don't know much about wine. It was a red wine. I know that much.
That's a Merlot, yeah.
Oh, there you go. I was right after all. So she's like, "Oh, you're taking this pretty well." And I'm like, "I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna cry over spilt wine. It's not gonna change anything." So,
right. Yeah. I mean, then what are you gonna do about it? You're not there.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Do not try to turn it on again tonight." I was spending the night at a friend's place because we were having a few drinks, and I'll take a look at it when I get home. So I get home, and it's where I had asked her to leave it. And I pull apart the bottom, and sure enough, the bottom tray is stained and it's sticky with it, because it had been an hour or two since she spilt it in before I talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I start pulling everything apart and pull the board out and pull the keyboard out. And I got some electronics cleaner, probably the same type of contact stuff you were talking about, the stuff that doesn't damage plastic.
Right.
And I propped the motherboard up like this on a pad of paper towels underneath, and I sprayed it. And I continued to spray it until the stuff was running off of it clear.
Yeah.
Because the first spray, it ran off red and soaked the paper towels red.
Oh, yeah.
And I popped the RAM out of it. I sprayed down the RAM slots. I sprayed down the SATA connector for the hard drive. I did the same thing for the keyboard, which again ran red until it didn't. And then I let everything just dry afterwards. I put it back together. and it had 4 gigs of RAM in it. And when it booted up, it said it only had two. And so I swapped the RAM slots to see how, I swapped the RAM crisscross.
Right.
There's two 2 gig sticks. Booted up, it still only said it had two. I put a different. I went one slot at a time. One of the slots was shot basically, and don't need to prolong that part of the story anymore. That was the only thing that was wrong with it. And my parents, so we used it for another couple of years as our like on the couch looking up
Oh, I
something
remember
laptop.
you telling me about that
Yeah.
laptop.
Then after that, I gave it to my parents. It was a Travel Mate like 5430 or something like that, and they used it until the screen broke off of it because like after 7 or 8 years, it doesn't matter how good the laptop is, the hinges start to go.
Right.
And then I 3D printed brackets that would lock the screen up and brace it so that you could still work as open. And my mom still used it for doing paperwork and printing stuff or whatever. And then eventually they got a new laptop and I wiped it and I got it set up with Kira and a bunch of other stuff because I had given my brother and my nephews a 3D printer, and they never actually used it for anything because they never got into the 3D printing. My brother didn't want to get too far into the learning how to do stuff, but yeah, it got like another decade's use out of it after.
That's amazing. Yeah, I had a client. In fact, it was the wife of the guy that owned the company that Grisilla worked for when her and I met. For those of you who don't know, Grisilla was one of my was one of my clients, and now she's my wife. So, yeah, she brought her laptop to me one time. The wife did, and she said, "I need you to fix this." And I said, "Well, what's going on with it?" And she goes, "It got drunk." And I said, "What do you mean it got drunk?" I spilled some wine into it, a whole freaking glass. And I said, "Well, how long ago did this happen?" And she said, "It was about a week ago." And I said, "All right, so I'll start looking for a new laptop for you." It was so disgusting. It was so, and I cannot stand the smell of alcohol as a whole,
Yep.
but wine is one of the worst for me. Wine and beer, whew, both of them nauseate me almost instantly. So, like, I had a hard time even working on that machine. So, and it was a Merlot, Chris, just in case you're wondering.
It's
Uh,
a
but yeah,
Merlot.
super sticky. Just, it was almost like gooey in there. It was so disgusting. So disgusting. So, but I mean, they had money. They could afford a new laptop. They're the same people that she got mad at him one time and chucked his laptop down the driveway like this end over end down a 25-foot long driveway.
Yep.
He brought it to me and wanted me to warranty it. And I said, "Well, first of all, the company's not going to warranty that because you broke it. And second of all, you didn't buy that from me. You bought it from the company I used to work for." And he's like, "Well, yeah, but I still bought it from you." And I'm like, "No, you bought it from that company. I just happened to work there." So he was such a, yeah, family friendly channel.
I think I told you I had a guy that I thought while I was working at a tech shop was going to beat me up, and another customer walked in as he like started taking aggressive steps towards me.
I don't know if I ever heard that story.
I I worked at a computer repair store while I was going through high school and college, and I worked the weekend shift. So Saturday, this guy walks in. He's got his laptop with him, and he goes, "Hey, yeah, I had my laptop in here for repairs. It had viruses on it, and they wiped it and they reinstalled it, but they didn't put my Office back in, my Microsoft Office." And I said, "Oh, okay, probably a bit of an oversight, but if you've brought the original software packages and stuff in or the license, I can go ahead and install that." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, if you had Office on your laptop when you bought it, it would have come with like the bundle of paperwork." And so I was like, "Well, I don't have that anymore. I got rid of all that." And I said, "Well, like he goes, "I don't understand what the problem is. I had it. Like you guys took it off." I said, "Well, we would have wiped it if you had viruses and reinstalled Windows because you've got a license sticker on the bottom of your laptop for that. But we need your license for it." He goes, "The license was on the laptop. You guys erased it." I said, no, there would have been a paper license involved with
That's
it.
not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
And I know now that's potentially like you could have a digital license. This was
Right.
before you bought a Dell laptop and it came with a thing of paperwork like this, and it
Oh
was like,
yeah.
here's the Windows installation manual, here's the,
Yep.
and he's like, you guys are putting Office back on my laptop today, and I'm like, I can't install it on it without a license. When you go to install it, he goes, that's not my problem. You guys can use one of your licenses then. And I said, well, if you want us to sell you a copy of Office, it's like, I think it was $199 for the one that included Word, Excel, and Outlook, maybe.
PowerPoint.
It wasn't the 5 one. There was one that was his 3 apps, and I think Outlook was one of the apps. And so I think it was like the essentials was Work, Excel, and Outlook or whatever. And he goes, no, you guys wiped it. You guys can pay for it. And he goes, you didn't explain to me that I was going to lose all my software and everything. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to talk to the owner. He goes, no, I want this done now. And I'm like, I'm a minimum wage employee here. That I didn't say minimum wage employee, but I'm like, I'm just the grinder. I'm just here so people can pick up and drop off on the weekend for the most part. And he goes, I'm not leaving without. And he goes, and like his hands are shaking, and he's balled up his hand, and he's doing this, and he's got like the laptop on one side. I'm like, you're gonna have to talk to Mark on Monday. I can, and he took 2 steps towards me, and the door opened, and he looked at the person that just walked in, and then looked back at me, and he said, "You can tell your boss to be looking out for me on Monday," and turned around and walked out, but lumbered out. And the person that walked in was a regular. He's like, "Whoa, what did I walk in?" I'm like, "I think that guy was about to hit me." I'm like, I'm not joking. His hands, he had fists, he was shaking,
Yeah,
and
he was probably like in that rage tunnel. Like
yeah,
he probably had no clue what he was doing.
yeah. And so I sent my boss a message on MSN Messenger and was like, "Hey, this is what just what happened." And anyways, I don't think the guy ever actually came back. Period. He
He
probably
probably
just
went
went
home
to.
and researched it and found out that you were right.
Well, I think he knew I was right, but he thought that we should be on the hook for it. We wiped his laptop and he owned it beforehand, so we owed it back to him.
Yeah, but he should have kept the license.
Yep.
I mean
So
that's not your fault.
we had a guy that came in and he was ticked off about something, and he walked in and he goes like this with his hands. He goes to the 3 of us that were standing there. He's like, and then like starts getting angry and belligerent. My boss called the cops. It's like,
Oh yeah.
this guy just walked in here making shotgun noise, and he's like, I can't believe you guys took that seriously. I'm just blowing off steam. And it's like, you threatened to blow off more than a lot than steam. Like,
yeah, that's a personal threat.
yeah,
Absolutely.
like don't be stupid. He didn't get in trouble for it. Like, there's no charges or anything like that. It was just the
No,
cop showed up and told him, "Don't be stupid."
And I bet he never did it again. Like.
Yep. Or did it again immediately. Who knows?
Right. Or did it to you guys.
Yeah. I'm now looking online to see if I can find an online replacement adapter for this thing, and it looks like it's pretty substandard. It looks like the ones that use this usually have a female connector on the board, and this one's actually got a male connector on the board, and this one's actually got a female connector on the board. Isn't that weird?
Duff said, had a lady flip out on me for not being able to recover her QuickBooks data from a completely dead hard drive. Well, you suck, Duff. God, should have just run that Norton utility on it. It would have fixed it right up.
Post haste.
Chris Lane said he should have had an antivirus software. He probably didn't. Yeah, but thinking about the time, I mean, James went to college 5,000 years ago. Oh, wait,
this would have been in probably.
That was me.
This was 21 years ago, probably.
Yeah, because like I can remember making money just hand over fist, taking malware out of people's computers, but there was no software for that back then. Like there had not been a utility written, but the malware was so archaic that like pretty much you just went into the INI file and took it out of the run line. Was it the Win INI that had the run line in it on Windows 3.1? And you would just take it out of the INI file or out of the startup group on 95. So Christine said, I'm not saying antivirus would have helped. Yeah, digging through the registry to yank it out. Yep, absolutely. God, I used to make big money doing that. But somewhere around here, I have a copy of Windows NT. I can't remember if it's NT. It's got to be 3 or 3.1, whatever that NT version was. Was it 4? I don't know.
NT 4.0 was the popular, and there was also 3.52, I think, was
Well,
somewhat popular.
I have it on floppy disk, and I have a copy of Microsoft Office that's on floppy disk, which I want to say was like from the 95 era. So, I mean, one of these days I'll get to cleaning all that stuff out and find all this fun stuff. It was funny. I was just looking for a power cable the other day to plug in my stereo receiver in the garage.
Yeah.
A neighbor was super kind and gave me a Yamaha receiver, tape deck, and a CD player, and 2 Bose speakers for out here in the garage. And like I'm ecstatic. Like, but when I hooked it up, the speakers are so bassy. Like you just can't get rid of the bass. It's so low toned, and it's just not enjoyable. So I had brought a different receiver out. That one is old enough that the power cable is built into the receiver, and then it's got 2 plugins on the back of it to plug in the tape and the CD, so that they turn on automatically when you turn the receiver on. It's that old, and it's only stereo, which is that's fine. That's all you need. But I brought out a different receiver. I brought out and I needed a power cord, so I went digging for a power cord in the box. I was finding BNC cables, SCSI cables, serial and parallel null cables to connect like computer to computer.
Yeah, null modem cables.
Yep.
Yep.
And including a parallel one that I built specifically. No, maybe it's a 25 pin serial, not parallel. That I built specifically for gaming.
Very cool, you nerd.
Yeah, I've been a nerd a long time, man.
Not gonna change now.
So I don't know if I should share this. This is some insider information. Maybe you guys, everybody put your fingers in your ears and go la la la. Comica or Kamika, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, reached out to me. They're actually the manufacturer of this set of lavalier mics that I use, and also the ones that I use out in the garage. But they reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in doing a review on a set of wireless mics. And it just so happens to be this set. I bought these back in 2019, and it was just really funny because I wrote back to her and I said, I would love to do a review on that mic set. And most people are excited to do reviews because they like free products. I'm excited to do it because I've been using them for like 4 years now, exclusively on the channel. So hopefully something comes from that. Like maybe a bigger sponsorship or, more equipment. I don't know if they're just going to offer me another set of those. I'll take them. But I absolutely have no problem doing a review on those after having used them for 4 years.
If they happen to be watching and are listening, I'm looking for a good set of wireless. So, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I can put you in contact with the rep. So this is probably, I think I have one other set like these. I have a whole drawer full of no, those are Fafines.
Fafine. Everything's Fafine.
I always put tape on all of them with A's and B's so I know whose is whose. Yeah, these are Comicas as well. These are actually aluminum. Like these things are built like a tank. I don't remember why I stopped using these ones. I think they were getting interference, and I just didn't play with them long enough to find a clean channel. But this set, I mean, these are just plastic, plastic housing, but they're super lightweight. And obviously they work well. So, I mean, I've used them for all of my videos for as long as I can remember, at least back to 2019. But yeah, so I'm hoping something comes from that. So
I will keep my fingers crossed for you.
Mad Mike 8 said, "No highs, no lows, must be bows." Yeah, they're huge, like, and they're heavy. They're like, I don't know, they're about this tall, but they're like real wide, and they're coned out. I forget I forget what model they are. They're like 190s, but wooden casings and stuff. They're just it's like, so they're probably just blown.
Probably.
But you know, so I'm looking for a new set of speakers. Now I'm not, I'm looking for a new set of speakers. If you want to send some over, no, I'm just I got to go looking for the stereo that I had out there was an old Kenwood shelf unit. If you guys remember those, like it was like an all-in-one box, and mine has like a 5-disc changer and a dual tape deck for making mix tapes. And I picked that one specifically when I bought it because it had an auxiliary input, because I wanted to hook my computer into it back before I had decent computer speakers. And that one does all right, but it's starting to get a little wacky. Like sometimes you'll turn the volume up and it'll just not, and the display isn't so clear anymore. And that's not my eyes. I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong. But no, so I was really excited to get this stereo, but I gotta find some better speakers, and maybe ones that don't weigh as much as the whole garage weighs. Because I put them, they go up above. They're up on my overhead so that they're not in the way, and it was tough getting them up there. Whew. Thought I was gonna have to get out the crane. Duff said no Cisco console cables in the pile. I don't think so. I think that box is too old. I wasn't into that kind of stuff when that box of cables was created. Tony Ryan said, "Geez, do I feel old? Who else had a Z80? I don't even know what that is. Print buffer for their dot matrix printer. I had a dot matrix printer. In fact, I had and I had the Oki Data.
Okie dokie data.
Was it the Oki 20? It was a color printer, but to print color, you had to take the black cartridge out and put the color cartridge in, and it was the kind of cartridge where you could roll it back and see what was printed.
I had a Star NX1000 Rainbow, which had the ribbon where it was black and then RGB, and they were stacked. And there's a little release thing on it, so it would go, and then it would ram itself against the side because there's a little button built into it, and it go,
move it, to what color it needed.
Yeah, that was mind blowing to me. Like, I'm gonna print so many photos with this.
Yeah, I had an Oki Data 320, and I'm sorry I don't still have it. Those printers, the 320 and the 321s, were freaking unstoppable. And if something did go wrong with them, they were so easy to fix. Every once in a while, they come up for auction on the college website, and I'm so tempted to buy one, though I would never really use it. It's just fun for the nostalgia. Tony said, I got one. I got it so I could print a 15-page report once a week, could finish the rest of the bookkeeping without tying up the computer, multitasking operating systems. We got a printer one time when I had my computer store and I was starting my nonprofit organization, which is a story for another time.
Every organization I've ever started has been nonprofit, but not like you're expecting.
No, that's a no profit. This was a 501c3 legitimate nonprofit to help bring internet to less than fortunate children. But so we had a company that donated a bunch of stuff, and they donated this printer, and I can't remember what it is now, but we called it Big Mama. It was huge. It was as big as this table that I sit at, and super heavy. And when you would print to it, it could hold I want to say it was like 10,000 sheets of paper was the fill. Like it was this huge mechanical shelf that lifted the paper up as it needed more paper. It was just massive. It was just this massive mess. But when you would print to it, it would spool everything. But like if you sent a one-page sheet, like a Word document, it would take like 4 minutes for that thing to get there. And like we're like, what is going, like, does it send it over to the printer and then there's like a little dude in there that like retypes it up to like it was just so slow and so massive. But we eventually learned it had a hard drive in it, and on that hard drive was that company's data, and it had like years worth of what they had printed on that hard drive.
That's
And
weird.
this is I'm not going to say who the company is, but they're I was going to say what kind of company. They're a big company. You absolutely have dealt with this company, not necessarily directly, but a company that you have dealt with has dealt with this company. That's all I want to say. But
the Kevin Bacon thing, but for
yeah.
company.
But like absolutely Fortune 500, huge company, and they deal with one specific item that every retailer has touched. Probably every automotive manufacturer has used, like, yeah, they use their products. There's other companies that make this product, but they're like the one. But it's a weird product, so it's not like Q-tips, like. But anyway, but what I'm saying is that this company was large enough that they absolutely had not toilet paper. An IT department, like their IT department was like 500 employees. So they had given us a whole bunch of Dell computers, and they were like Pentiums, Pentiums and Pentium 2s. They weren't. I probably still have one or two around here. They had given us like 200 of these. They just gave us a whole bunch of stuff. A huge plotter. They gave us a big plotter. They gave me a digitizing table, this monstrous drafting digitizing table. White clamshell. No, you guys keep getting. I'm not telling you who it is. I wouldn't want to embarrass them like that. I mean, this goes back like 20 some odd years ago, but I mean, it was around 2000 that all of this happened. But like every one of those Dell computers were wiped out. Like they took the time to wipe the hard drive on every one of those computers. No operating system, no nothing, just straight wiped. And they were like military wiped. You weren't recovering them. What do they call it? Like seven layer deletion or whatever.
7-layer dip.
7-layer taco dip. No, the old PCs, white clamshells. Yeah, they were desktops. They weren't the kind that opened like a Lenovo. No, not those ones. Not the ones that. Oh well, maybe. God, it's been so long, Duff. I can't remember. I know that when you took the cover off of them, like the whole entire chassis was plastic. 7-pass wipe. Yeah, that's what I do every day on the toilet.
If it's taking you 7 wipes, you probably need more fiber. I get uncomfortable if we're past 4,
Oh, I'm so tired. So tired. If we ever did like an overnight stream, I'd wreck this joint. My sense of humor gets crazy when I'm tired.
Oh, I thought you were talking about smoking the reefer. Wreck a joint.
No. But
not that you judge people that do.
But anyway, I don't even know how we got on that topic. We love talking about old computers, don't we?
I certainly do. I'm just dragging you all with me.
Chris Lane said, my dad brought home a huge old copier back in the 80s to try to fix. The toner spilled when we were trying to replace it. That was fun. Oh, and toner is actually a carcinogen.
So is laughter. Laughter, the best carcinogen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look around. I'm pretty sure I maybe got rid of the last of those Dells when I hauled the last of that junk out of here. Like I still have some old computers.
Oh, you're gone, or I'm gone.
Gone. I was
Yeah.
gone. I did
Welcome
the
back.
little swirly thing there for a second.
I thought I broke this thing by taking it apart. It turns out there around the hard drive there's like 6 ribbon cables that come in through here, and one of them wasn't properly seated. So when I put the hard drive back and it just pulled the ribbon cable out and it disconnected like the power light, the like the panel that has the power light, the battery charge light, the hard drive activity light, and also the only physical buttons on this tablet. So everything just stopped working on the side of the tab. I'm like,
That's why you're supposed to work on them with them plugged in so that you know that you did that.
yeah. And you're supposed to constantly lick the positive and ground rail together to make sure that they're still getting power through there. You know, and if you're not comfortable with that, well, a couple of jumper cables directly to the genitals. That's the way you go with it.
Dustin, that reminds me of all the people that brought their inkjet printers to the shop, transporting them on their side or standing up like this.
Yep.
Oh, because they had that little bucket that would catch all the ink. Oh yeah.
Wait, I mean, unless we're talking with the other James Cameron, why am I semi-famous now?
What?
Chris Lane says, since I came in late, did you all mention that James Cameron is semi-famous now? He's talking about the other James Cameron actually stepped down a step.
You were in that article. He's actually been picked up by a lot of people.
Yeah,
Finally.
there's been
he finally did something worth talking about.
apparently. Yeah, Tom's Hardware did an article, then Red Shirts Always Die did an article, and Hot Hardware did an article too. But the Hot Hardware article, I think, was directly basically just like, go check out the Tom's Hardware article.
Yeah, but
I could be wrong.
It's still coverage. I mean,
Oh, I'm not criticizing. Sorry, that was not meant to be a criticism. I was just saying that if you've read the Tom's Hardware article, the chances are you aren't going to get anything. Tom's Hardware went above and beyond, though. Like that guy is truly a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
You know what? I put a lot of time and effort into that build.
Yeah, you
and
did.
All 3 of my fans appreciated it. No, I'm just kidding.
All 3 of those thumbs ups were deserved.
Yeah, even though one of them's from my own account and the other one's from my other account.
And one of them was from me, so you know.
Yep. Here's your sign. I'm gonna have to order a new steel sheet for my Prusa. The PETG has finally taken its toll, and it tore the last time I was, but like it tore from the plate, but it also tore from the print and then went back down, and it's kind of just still stuck there a little bit. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna print until you can't use it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Use all the surface until it just doesn't work. Man, I have a lot of channels that I'm subscribed to.
I mean, there should only be 2, and they should both be me. I'm just kidding.
It's funny when I go to your YouTube channel, I'm featured on there.
Yeah, I put you featured.
But it's weird, like that I'm here on that account and it shows me, you know, like.
Hey, if you like this guy, you might like yourself.
I didn't even know that you could do that set.
I don't remember how to do it or if it's still possible, but.
Yeah, I just wanted to see where that. I mean, I probably could have asked you. You probably would have known off the top of your head, but. Oh,
well,
no,
that was unfortunate.
I'm on the wrong freaking channel. That's why it's not here.
My PETG print, as I was like just trying to gently pry it off the board, just like snapped. I don't know if that's showing, but that's too bad.
If this guy would quit changing the name of his YouTube channel.
It's true. I changed it again today.
And Mike 8 said it's cool that you can order a Prusa through Amazon. I didn't know that, but I suppose now that they're here in the U.S., it made it easier to make that happen.
Well, I'll see if I can pry the rest of this off without breaking anything, because I can at least then make sure that the parts that I've designed it for line up screw hole wise, you know?
All right. So James's video. I mean, obviously, I can't see all the dirt because
I don't want to say anything because I don't want people to ruin it.
they don't show everything. But I don't know. I clicked in here and I lost all the statistics. So 277 thumbs ups.
Yep. You
5
know what? I'll just say it.
What?
It's got 1 thumbs down on it,
Which is probably a bot or just some d-hole. But 5.3 thousand views, 5,300 views. And
I think that no 5.3, yeah, 5,300. I can click on here and see it's got exactly 5,387.
all right, so here's the thing. I mean, you've got a couple video, like you've got one here that's got 11,000 views,
Is that the
3.2.
triple EPC one?
The Aspire One netbook
Oh, okay.
is 11,000 views. So the point that I'm trying to make is like this isn't like so far your greatest video, but these are also this is what 7 months old. So like they're not really perfectly comparable, but like you have a very wide range. Like you have here 275 views, 311 views, 421, 295. So you have like, and I suffer the same thing where like some of the here's one with 22,000. That's the EEPC.
Yep.
22,000 views. So, but on my garage channel, my top performing video
Is Sean.
well, it's Sean's truck, but it's 8,000 views.
Yep.
So my video is better than James. No, the point is like I am excited that I have 8,000 views. This video has been out for 2 weeks and James already has 5,380 views on it. So that's phenomenal for that to happen. So,
and as I say this, I'm not downplaying any of the stuff. None of it's due to natural YouTube. It's I think 91.8% of the traffic is from external sources. So from those articles, from Reddit and stuff like that. So it's basically like the Reddit stuff is obviously me posting pictures of it and getting, and then saying, hey, if you guys want to know more, here's the video and stuff like that.
Well,
so
it's advertising.
Yeah.
You have a product, you have to advertise it because YouTube and I mean, we're on YouTube right now, and I'm going to say this: YouTube is garbage. They absolutely Google as a whole does not care, not one iota about the end user anymore. Not at all. They don't care about us. And Twitch is getting to be the same. You've heard this, that now that Twitch has taken 50% of the revenue. 50%.
That's rough.
That's robbery.
Because they're providing the service, but they're not providing the product. These people are working hard to provide a product.
They're working well. Some of them are working hard. Some of them are just
we don't need we don't need to get into like the day to day. If we're talking about it as a summary, there are people that are dedicating their lives now to basically making Twitch more rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Putting money in the CEO's pocket. So yeah, some are just in a hot tub. Absolutely. One of the greatest reels I ever seen on Instagram, which by the way, when I send you those Instagram reels, can you see those? Like, are they visible to you?
You've been sending me Instagram reels?
I send them via Twitter DMs. That's that serial modem for old PCs. That was
I did watch that.
Wi-Fi.
That's the only one I can think of though. Like I definitely click any link unless I think you're being sketchy.
No, I got to tell that story real fast too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at time, so I'll tell it really fast. I found this piece of software that is absolutely fantastic for categorizing your media. So it can handle pictures, videos, music, text files, like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm trying to look back. James and I talk a lot sometimes. It is called Diffractor, Diffractore. I don't know if I'll be able to copy that. I'm going to put it in the link for anybody that wants it. No, I'll just type it. Well, I sent James a message and I said, found this software. It is free, exclamation point. And it really is, LOL. But it allows you to sort your media. The nice part is that you can scrub through videos and then move them to a folder based on what it is. Works really well for sorting video clips that need to be edited. I just about hit send on this and realized I didn't post the link, LOL. And then I put the link. So how does James reply? I'm going to double check you actually want this and it wasn't your Twitter getting hijacked. So I go back and read that and I said, that really did sound a little spammy, but no, I promise it was me. Yeah, so it's not often that you find a decent piece of software
It's actually free.
That's actually free, and it's legitimately free, not like free to download and then you get to use it for 5 seconds, or or you use it and it puts watermarks on all your images.
It's like I went looking for a free text-to-speech engine for a specific voice, and the ones that I tried, it was always like, you have a 2,000 character limit before you have to pay for it. So like you say, okay, process this, and you don't get to preview it. So okay, type this and put in this voice, and then it's like, okay, you really want to do this? It's going to take away from your total like word limit. And it's like, oh no, that's not the voice I wanted. Okay, well I just wasted 20 of my 2,000 words.
That's what incognito windows are for.
Yeah.
But no, so I mean, if anybody has like a lot of pictures and you want to be able to, like, it pulls them up on one side, like it gives you thumbnails, pretty decent sized thumbnails. And if it's a video and you mouse over it, you can actually run your mouse over it and it'll scrub through. So I had a folder that was all the stuff that I've recorded in the garage. And like, I do projects over projects. Like I might have, like the truck has been in the garage for all this time and I've been doing projects in between. So, so it's all just mixed. So I can look down through there, and if I can't tell from the thumbnail, I can scrub over it and then see what it is. And then you just do a Control Shift X, and then you can give it a folder, and it remembers like the last, 12 folders. It's great. So if you guys are looking, and then, no sponsor. I just found it. It's free, and it's legit free. So
I was like 99% sure it was you, but like I have gotten that from stuff in the past where like somebody on Facebook clicked on something and it hacked them, as people like to say. So
right,
often.
It hacked them. Yeah, they gave them access to the account, and then they were able to text you. Yeah, no, yeah. It was legitimately, and like I started using the software. I'm like, this is really great, and then it was like the next day, I'm like, I bet James could use this, like.
And then I was like, "Are you sure? I'm sure this is from you? I don't know if I trust you."
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I meant to tell that story earlier and I had forgotten. But
Glenn was all like, "Hey, boo boo, let's go steal some picnic baskets."
Yeah. Just I mean, I guess I've read enough spammy emails to be able to write one.
To be able to generate your own.
Help! I was hacked. I sent you a code. Can you tell me? No, the one I read about today was that you will randomly get a chunk of money, say like $3,000 in your Venmo or PayPal or whatever, and it's from somebody you don't know, and then you're going to be a good citizen and be like, no, you weren't supposed to send this to me, and you send the money back to them. Well, the money they sent you is off of a stolen credit card, and it gets disputed, and the bank takes the money back anyway. But now you've also sent that $3,000 back to the scammer, and that doesn't come back because you legitimately sent it. So if you get random money, woohoo, don't send it back. My morning, I spend an hour every morning before work just going through like security bulletins and to keep the other coworkers safe and have less work for myself somewhere else. But so you got anything you want to promote at 9:03?
Nope, not this week. Those who haven't seen the shuttle thing, like go watch the shuttle thing.
Go watch it. Yeah, and those of you who watch my again, I'm not worried about the Fun King 3D, but if you guys are watching my content on the Garage channel and you're not subscribed, please, for the love of Jeebus, subscribe. I was telling James this morning that video of the lift kit, the Sean truck lift kit installation with 8,017 views, 2% of those views came from subscribers. The other 98% are non-subscribers. And I'm sorry, but subscribers are what runs your YouTube algorithm. You need subscribers and you need comments. And I love you guys for commenting. I love even if it's just a dumb comment, and I always comment back. And if it's a dig, I don't care. If you want to just be funny, that's cool. I'm fine with it. That interaction helps drive the algorithms so much. So thank you guys for keeping that up. And I've had some fantastic conversations with people. Mad Mike 8 throwing down $4.99 for Glenn's Christmas decoration installation fund to get the lights up on my second house. Thank you, Mike. It is greatly appreciated. I will have to give you a banner next time, being that you've thrown that down at the 9:04 mark. As for me, promotion-wise, no video this week. We'll have another stream before the video comes out, but most likely it will be 1 week from Sunday at 5 p.m. or maybe 4 p.m. just so that it's up and ready, like James said. I'm working on editing out the video that I did with Uncle Ron. Now, Uncle Ron didn't join us tonight. He'll probably watch this later. I don't ever worry about hurting Uncle Ron's feelings. I mean, I did straight up call him a Sasquatch in the video, so you can look for that. But what I learned with Uncle Ron is you can't have Uncle Ron in the garage when you're filming, because he'll have conversations with you while you're filming, and he talks about like his personal finances and stuff. So I had to cut a bunch of the audio out. So I love you, Uncle Ron. It was a really fun project, and you guys will get to see that super soon. I filmed it differently than my normal videos, so we'll see how it works out. I don't know. Think more like this old Tony, but with maybe the side of my face in there. I don't know. But that's it for tonight. So that brings us to the point where I say thanks to each and every one of you guys for showing up. We really do appreciate you guys. These streams would be absolutely senseless without you, and they would not move through the 2 hours nearly as fast without that constant conversation. I love interacting with you guys. So many times you watch live streams and it's just talking head, and the people don't watch the chats. So I absolutely love including everybody in there. That's why when you show up here in the beginning, you get a shout out. If you show up late, you probably get a shout out anyway, but your shout out would be better if it was right in the beginning. So stop being late. I mean, that doesn't apply to James and I. It just applies to you guys. So thank you guys. We'll see you next Thursday. I don't see any reason that we wouldn't have a stream next Thursday, but pay attention to my Twitter. Twitter is where I update you all. I didn't schedule the stream early this week. I forgot.
Did it this morning, I think.
Yeah, I did it this morning. So, yep. But I usually try to schedule them Sunday mornings. So, but watch for that. Follow me on Twitter if you don't. I'm Fun King 3D everywhere. Fun King Garage everywhere as well. Thank you guys. And as always, until next time,
print on.